Okay, there we are. That is better. My wallpaper up there. Okay, stuff scarred, but that is because of running late. Because of traffic. Lovely 1 a.m. traffic crashes on the highway. Okay, so we are going to continue. Wrong one. Okay, we're going to continue the world building on the magic system, and I figured a good way to do that would be exploring this magic system through the perspective of a character we will create tonight. So, character. So, the main focus. Well, let's recap real quick from because it's been 2 weeks because I didn't have a world building stream last week. This system is inspired mostly through necromancy from Cryptmaster, where human souls interact with the Ethereum, which is a timeless dimension that the magic power comes from. There are entities within this timeless dimension that can help facilitate magic with human souls. These entities are timeless as they live in the timeless dimension, and they can gain power or some mechanic like that by interacting with the human souls that are trying to draw magic, because the humans can give them names because names are power. And some humans, like necromancers, have magic that can summon one of these entities into the human world. So I think we are going to use one of these entities as our case study character. Was there a name for these entities? Just Ethereum, which is still kind of placeholder. We'll just go with. There we go. So let's start from the beginning of this character. He is in a timeless dimension. Let's get it going. Dimension, timeless entity. So our character is timeless. He exists without past, present, or future. There is only, well, everything all at once, because in a timeless dimension, it is just one abstracted world line representing everything. That is an imposition that we have to do from ourselves to make sense of it as a world line, because as timed entities stuck in the present, we cannot really conceptualize it that well. So, timeless dimension, timeless entity. He is just existing, living his best not life in this not time. He has natural ability to what was our wording for magic? So Arcana is to science as magic is to technology. What about magic power? Arcana? I think I generalized magic to just be magic because we separated it between Arcana and religion. Arcana being how humanity has the ability to influence the set fate, predetermined course of history that's going to happen because of world lines, while religion is the side of humanity where they use magic to reinforce fate with harmonizing with and stuff, and liminal is an odd in-between case that is neither here nor there, coming and going. So magic was the general term. Natural ability to use magic powers. No concept starting. Hold on. Starting has no concept of time, no concept of. He can have some concept of names because he will recognize that there are these weird named things coming around, and names are power. Technically, it's kind of a catch-22 where if you don't have a name, it's harder for people to have power over you. But if you have a name, it is easier to use power. That's my thought process on that so far. So, no name, aware of names, wants a name. Because, as I just said, catch 22, no name, harder for others to have power over you. Have name, easier to wield power. So that is the core motivation for why these timeless entities would want to interact with human souls and enter the human world. Because they have to enter the human world to gain a name. Maybe, I'm not sure on this, they may have to be given a name or earn a name. They can't just go and say like, hey, my name is the entity. Ski, whatever. Because just naming yourself, that's always name. No one likes it when you give yourself a nickname. So they have to be either earn or be given a nickname. Or earn or be given a nickname in physical world acknowledged by human souls. And it's not strictly human souls, it's just human souls in this setting are the most immediately available that can have the ability to influence fate and change stuff. So, starts as timeless entity in timeless dimension. That's better. Guess that mistake earlier. Okay, so we have his start. Our Aetherian starts as a timeless entity in a timeless dimension. Aetherian has a natural ability to use magic powers. He's starting out, and when I say starting out, he doesn't really start out. He's just always there because he is timeless in this timeless dimension. It's just he emerges into the timed. It's always hard to talk about this because it's such a weird concept. He's always there, but to us, he begins. But to him, he was always there. So, in this timeless dimension, he encounters human souls changing their world line, which is unnatural to this timeless entity because world lines are supposed to be static because that is what is natural to the timeless entity. Therein. Water. But human souls are these weird, abnormal world lines that have the ability to change either their world line or those around them. It is entirely unique to the Aetherians. Which attracts them. So, counters the human souls. Countering the human souls, they will bargains pacts or existing human use of magic powers. And through ongoing familiarity with these human souls, I don't know if they would, if trust would be the right word, but they become more familiar. I don't know if these Aetherians would be considered familiars like you would normally think of with like wizards or witches with the familiars, like animals. That's a very specific word to use in this. Why are my words so far right? Over. That's fine, whatever. Becomes more familiar. More becomes known to human souls, and Aetherian accepts a summoning into physical world. So, how this happened in previous exploration of this magic system was necromancers have their most infamous revival ritual, which is they can revive a dead body after the human soul has already departed it by summoning an Ethereal entity into the body. Body is brought back to life by the Ethereal, who takes it as its mortal coil to explore the physical dimension. The Ethereal may retain the deceased memories depending on brain neural damage decay. They have the previous life's memories to varying degrees, but they are keenly aware they are not their own memories. It is effectively a new person, happens to have the same body. That is why up here there is permadeath with the asterisk, because the souls will change. The could be a huge ethical or religious debate about whether these revived beings are human anymore, because their souls are not human. That could be a good source of strife. I will come back to, where can I note that? Strife. Revived. No longer human because not human soul. Clean that up later, just a little bookmarks note so I can come back to it. So, our Aetherian is summoned into the physical world. The Aetherian inhabits possesses? Let's go with possesses. Pairs for a more mechanical connotation. Body whose soul has passed on. So, the Aetherian is now alive in a mortal coil in the physical realm. It has entered a timed dimension for the first time. So now, Aetherian acclimates and learns basic human concepts such as time, space. I don't know. There would be space categorically in the timeless dimension. I don't imagine it would be the same kind of space as we have in our physical dimension. Is dimensions, plural. Yeah, space asterisk. Mortality. What are life? Life would be fairly, at most, an abstract concept to a timeless entity. Life cycles just include everything like sex, reproduction, all that stuff. Previous life. They would have to adapt to possibly being recognized as the previous person. They will have to learn to handle whatever memories, hangups, baggage that was left for them by the previous life that has since ended. And human magic. Because this timeless entity can no longer use its full breadth of magic powers that it had in the timeless dimension. It is now limited in scope to human plus. It is more capable than a human in theory, but it will have a harder time using its magic. It has to relearn everything effectively. It's like understanding quantum mechanics on a fundamental level, but you have to learn to do algebra. I think that's a good simile there. Yeah. think that that's a good description for like the step down in scopes of knowledge and power, innate ability. All of that probably should have been its own little sub numbers, but we'll just leave that in the parentheses. Because we started late, so just zooming along. So, what else? It has... Where are we so far? We have Timeless Entity that was summoned, and it has acclimated and is now learning basic human concepts in its life. So, how else will it explore this world and consequently this magic system? It will... Human magics include all of this stuff. The Aetherian will primarily be a necromancer. I had to think of my words there. Magic. And I don't think that you're arbitrarily locked into one branch of the magic etheric tree. As a game system, it would make sense to do that to not let magic users just to be completely overpowered, but in a narrative system, it doesn't super make sense unless you have a compelling reason to. Beyond the normal stuff like human lifetimes, the difficulty of learning, because up here somewhere, because everyone in theory can use magic to varying degrees, but is restrictively difficult because you have to learn magic, which can take decades. Grasping the basics. But the Aetherian will effectively have a head start both from its mortal coil's previous abilities and knowledge, as well as the Aetherian's innate talents. Book can expand. And I said that these aren't mutually exclusive, the different branches of the tree. However, because these are fundamentally different, changing fate versus reinforcing fate, maybe under certain conditions it's possible to do either or both, but normally these are relatively mutually exclusive just from the nature of what you are doing with the magic. So, because the Timeless Entity is used to world lines being relatively static, as it should be in its sensibilities, it would make more sense for it to be better suited to religion magic, which needs a better term. I don't want to use holy, but it needs a better term than religion when we have the other one called Arcana and the other liminal. Point being, an etheric entity has more capacity for using any etheric tree of magic branch. Terminology is getting weird there. Magic techniques, break it down. Right now, Aetherians are more capacity for the opposed fate versus is there a single word for fate? Fate. Opposed as a okay. So our Aetherian is growing in its mortal life. Aetherian Therian gains a name either through being given it or earning it of, and consequently can the Ethereum change its world line once it returns to the timeless dimension? No, you have to do your changes while in your mortal coil. It's world line while in mortal coil. You have to have a name to do that because names are power. Is that one of our truths? Names are power. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah. This is flowing so far. At least in my mind. I don't know if this is making sense for anyone else, but it's making sense to me. So, as it's named, it can change its world line now. And Strife. Oh. Next line. So, conflict with religions, not considered human. Answers. So even beyond Arcana versus whatever religion will be renamed to, Arcana versus religion, within Arcana, necromancers have a bad name because of the stigma of making the non-human inhabit human bodies, which is seen as a very weird thing, natural. And that will be a good natural source of strife for any conceivable story. So we have a character, we have their conflict. What is the ultimate resolution? Therian mortal coil is killed. Aetherian released from physical world, re-enters timeless dimension with changed world line. Can an Ethereum that has already been summoned once be summoned again? That is not a question I have an answer to right now. Because in 40k, if you are possessed by a demon, you cannot be repossessed by any other demons. This doesn't follow 40k rules or anything, but that was one of the core inspirations for the Timeless Dimension. The entities are not demons, they are not warp entities, they are their own thing here. But it seems like too much of a get out of jail free and collect your starting money when you pass go. Way too much to be just easily resummoned. However, I can't offhand think of a compelling reason to limit it beyond something arbitrary. Okay. Therian may be resummoned as to, but because once it is back in the timeless dimension, it acclimate to timeless distance during which it loses track of familiar road lines, so it has to new human souls, which will probably be in a different time, either in the future or the past, to be summoned by. Because it would be very difficult for a naturally timeless entity that has been jarred back and forth to find both the same human souls that it was interacting with or just other human souls in the same time period. Because for a timeless entity, it is exceedingly difficult to both see and comprehend the timed, because it is so unnatural to a timeless entity. Note that. Timeless struggles to fucking spell straight today. Jesus, I have so many red lines here. See and understand the timed. Not pick out was or when. Okay, I think that's good enough phrased. So this is our end result. Is there anything between the strife and this? Anything else as it explores the world? Okay. If an Ethereal entity inhabiting a mortal coil produces children, would those children be different? I don't think so. Well, because that opens up an entire can of worms I don't want to go into over how a new human soul is made, because it's not defined if we're doing reincarnation or if human souls make a new one together. I'm just gonna not. I pop that tin. I'm gonna politely close it right back up and shove it aside. I don't want to get into that can of worms right now. That's gonna take some weeks to think on. So yeah, we're not gonna go into that. That has to go on the back burner and simmer in my mind. But actually, it would be an interesting plot point to explore. So it probably is worth noting just for future exploration. So I don't want to say an Ethereal and Immortal Coil can't produce the children, so it is possible then. Human children. Asterisk there because I don't know at all right now if those human children will be different, and if so, how. My initial inclination is that they will just be humans with whatever traits were inherited from the mortal coil the Ethereal is inhabiting. But the children would have a massive stigma if it is found out who helped produce them. That's good enough there. I don't want to go further than that. So, we have heard this magic system a bit more with this Ethereal. We have a character, we have some conflict, we have the ultimate end result that is inevitable with the mortal coil, you die. About our themes from before, Anything else we can play with? Line themes. Inspirations. Oh, that was it. Magitech, maybe we have the necromancy. Indomitable human spirit, yeah, because that's the indomitable human spirit and duality of man was the different branches here. Indomitable human spirit is referencing how we have in this magic system the ability to alter alter fate and timelines. Gotta get some water. Excuse me. How the human soul has the ability to alter world lines and hence change what we perceive as fate. The duality of man is the religion versus arcana stuff. I feel like we could use some more themes. We have the Magitech stuff. I've had thoughts both in a lot of different ways on what kind of technology world this magic system would inhabit, either just going full space magic with it, sci-fi plus sci-fi fantasy, or keeping it relatively medieval, Victorian aesthetics. Haven't been able to pin down which way we're gonna go, because the original inspiration that started all this was creating a Magitech setting for a knight, and a knight fighter pilot hybrid aesthetic. And this turned into a tangent off that, branching to its own thing. So I want to add another theme. What would be a good theme? Just to give us something, another aesthetic theme to play with besides Magitech. That's easier to handle right now. Ooh, I'm gonna have to put that on the back burner and think about it some more. What about, for now, another case study? Want to make you heading to new easier. This will be a religion? I think I might have just had an idea for a new word, because an Etherean case study and a Templar case study. What is a Templar? A Templar is simply an adherent of a temple. That's my definition. I don't know if there's a better definition. I don't know if there's a more proper definition for what a Templar is. That's just my internal use for it. A Templar is someone, a practitioner or adherent of a temple, whatever that temple is. So what would be a noun adjective of Templar magic? I'll just add Templar religion to that and come back again. It's starting to narrow it down. Well, I mean, actually that expanded it, but it's starting to give a more definition. So a Templar case study. Yeah, I'll leave those on the same page, don't matter. I am scatterbrained after starting late, having a rough start. Okay. We have 9 steps here, so let's roughly reflect that. We have our start. We have encounter with magic. Magic or fate. Earns magic. Life cycle. We had children there. Kind of more of the same. Specialization. Focus. That's a better word. Gaining a name. What's a good way to abstract that in a keyword? A reputation. Yeah, I'll go with reputation. Feel like there's a word, a synonym that has more gravity than that. I can't think of it right now. Conflict. Solution. And legacy. Okay, so we have some key words to fill in. Templar start. It is a human. He or she, because it is a human. He or she. Timed and physical. Which is almost not worth stating, but since we are dealing with an Etherean who is categorically not those things, it's worth pointing out, I guess. Anything else as a start? Not really right now because the world is not defined right now. This is giving us some tools to explore the world and start defining it with. Counter with magic and fate. Is inducted the right word? It is enters religious faiths and practices. So we had a few. So Templar religious magic is the duality, passive and active. It is harmonizing and destiny focused. So with adjacent rolled lines. And harmonizing with adjacent road lines empowers those adjacent. Okay. Life cycle. We're up here. It was Ethereum may produce a human child. Leave that just as life cycle because that's human. Focus, Templar. Aryan Hunter? Exorcist. Ethereum, mortal coils, disrupting perceived necromancy cults. So to the Templar, Ethereans are is abject with an A, is that the right word? Are an unnatural thing to be destroyed. They may or may not know that destroying the mortal coil does not kill the Etherean. The Etherean simply returns to the timeless realm. Either way. And they also may correctly or incorrectly perceive groups as necromancy cults to be disrupted. I don't want to use a more harmful sounding word than disrupted. Maybe there are degrees of exorcists who take a soft touch approach. So that is their focus. Reputation for the Etherean, it was gaining a name, so its reputation will crystallize. Is that the right word? Lies his fate. Okay. I'm not sure about that one, where the Templar's reputation crystallizes fate, granting harmonized world lines power. The little redundant, but they can learn Aetherian names. Leverage against them as part of an exorcist ritual. Possibly to summon an Aetherian to reinforce fate. If it suits the Aetherian's needs in the timeless dimension. We don't really know what there are. I want to leave that mostly blank as something to be speculated on, to engage with, to chew on. Conflict. As above, necromancers and Aetherians. And Aetherians. States. / states. Any other conflicts? Classes? Alright. Okay. The resolution. Lord dies. Body and what happens to the human souls when they die. Impossible for humans to know what happens to. So let's leave that as, at least for now, that might change in the future, but for now, let's leave that as just another mystery. Possible for humans to know what happens to their souls. Aetherians will not know either. And that just made me tangent and thought up here to where Aetherian is summoned. Yes. Is subsume the right word, where they here Aetherian's timeless world line subsumes, replaces, does something to take the place of the mortal's world line. I don't want to say replaces. Merges? Overlaps? That's going more in the right direction. I'll say overlaps for now. And no, it wouldn't overlap because the human soul has to be gone before it. So the Aetherian's world line would not intersect categorically with the human soul that previously inhabited the body it is being summoned into. That is a false start there, not anything to put down, but that was something boring to figure out, which is what this is all about. Do not know what happens to human souls. Cannot see world lines. They wouldn't call them world lines. I don't know what the terminology in the timeless realm would be for that when they're in the timed. But that's just an abstracted word for us to use here in discussing it in a sense. Timeless. The legacy, what was that for the Ethereum? The legacy was that they may be resummoned. Oh, well, that's just down here then. There we go. So we have two case studies here. We have the Ethereum exploring the magic side. We have the Templar exploring the religion side. We're gonna call it there. That was a shorter stream because of the late start, and rocky start. Had to restart there because I had a word I had to cut out on the previous part, but it's all fine. Okay, tomorrow we might be reading more Conan. I kind of want to find another public domain, something or another to read, just to mix it up. Or maybe I'll read something I've written before. I haven't decided yet. Worst case, which is a good case, we'll read more Conan. I'm just looking for other options now. But I hope everyone has a fantastic Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow night at 1:30. Have a fantastic day, everyone. See ya.